Hey guys, thank you so much for being here for the Riverdale live chat. This is actually our first one for this season. So if you're in the room, go ahead and say hello. I see Sydney, Ashley, and Jennifer right now. If you say hello, I will give you a shout out as well. But anyway, hopefully you had a chance to watch the video that I did last night about episode 2. And I was definitely surprised by the ending. I did not expect anything crazy to happen. I mean, I thought maybe it would, but then I thought it probably won't because we had the big surprise after episode 1. Hi, Toby. Hi, Tobin, Sarah, Dan, William, and Connie. Thank you guys so much for being here. So I was pretty shocked to see the masked man that we've been seeing since the season 1 finale, kill 2 students, which was a little bit bizarre to me because the girl, I believe that was her first episode, but I don't know, I could be wrong. And then Moose, I think we'd seen before. So I don't really understand killing them. I know, like, obviously they tried to kill Archie's dad and then they killed Miss Grundy, who was close to Archie, so I'm not really sure what the motivation is to kill these 2, but as you see from my title for this live chat, I wanted to talk about Sheriff Keller. Now, actually, after I did my video, I was trying to think of who, this could be because we know this man is an adult, and I don't want it to be someone that someone is paying, and I had this in my mind as soon as I did the video, but it was like kind of late and I went to bed. And then, I don't know if Ralph is in the room, but Ralph posted on my video from last night that he thinks it might be Sheriff Keller. And if you were with me last year, Sheriff Keller was my suspect for a long time as the killer of Jason Blossom, and that didn't pan out. And I think the reason that I chose him last year, it was like, well, I think there were some things that pointed to him being a bit shady. And it was, usually in these shows, it's the least likely person, and that's kind of why I went with him. So, I don't know if he's the person, but if you look at the guy, like, up close, if you pause the show and look at his eyes and then pause it on Sheriff Keller, they do kind of look similar. Gonna be real here. So Tobin says you feel like the episode will be kind of boring until they realize there's a serial killer. So yes, and a couple people mentioned on my video that they feel like this is a serial killer, and I almost mentioned in my video last night that it was a serial killer, but I couldn't decide, was it actually a serial killer or a person targeting certain people because of Archie for some reason. But at the same time, it's going to be a serial killer. It could be both, because this person is killing numerous people at this point. I'm not sure if both of the people in the car died last night, but we know he killed Miss Grundy. Elliot says, you feel like it's going to be like PLL where they are wearing a mask within a mask. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. But I am really, really surprised that they are showing the eyes of this person, like, very boldly. And you could say that they're green eyes. And I don't know what the thinking is with that. But I would rather it be like a full face mask. So we didn't even know, like, how old this person was. And so, right, they're not killing Archie, and then again, I don't know why this person is mad at Archie or is targeting people around Archie. I don't get that part of it yet. Jennifer said it's reminding you of Scream series and you think it's getting a bit boring. So I was definitely bored again with last night's episode till we got to the end, just like episode 1. Ashley says, do I think it's the person who was stalking Jughead and Betty last night? I kind of figured that that was the same person, but maybe it's not. Connie says it would be a reason why Sheriff Keller is barely taking any action towards the case. Yes, so there was a conversation between the sheriff and Archie that I found interesting, and he kind of blew off the whole thing. Like, Archie was trying to tell him, like, the bow that I gave her could possibly be your murder weapon, and maybe this is her ex-husband, and he's like, no, it's not the ex-husband, and he definitely was blowing him off, even though Archie might have had some information that was helpful for the case. So I kind of felt like he didn't really care that much, and maybe that's because he's involved, but then I also have trouble figuring out why he would want to kill 2 students like that. I know they were doing drugs, so is he like, oh my God, they gotta go because they're doing drugs. I still think that's like, I have trouble thinking of him as that psychotic, but maybe, like, where he's just killing kind of randoms. I don't know. Amber says, you mean Archie has red hair, not green eyes, but maybe the killer is a relative. Yeah, and again, it could be somebody that we haven't met, that we don't know. And I didn't know if you guys realized, but the guy that was the student that was leaving Miss Grundy's house, who she kissed last week, is going to be, or is the person who was cast as Betty's brother. So I don't think that's even been mentioned yet, but that is the case. Mateo says it has to be a mask and a mask. This show kind of bores you. I hope they pick it up. If they pull a Pretty Little Liars, Alex having no motive and making a random person the killer, you'd be mad. Or a twin, even worse. I hope to God we don't see anything similar to PLL in this, because that would really, really disturb me, because you guys know, well, if you've watched my PLL videos, what issues I had with that show. So first of all, if someone is wearing a mask on top of a mask, I'm going to be really annoyed by that. And secondly, if it is someone's twin or triplet or something, also super annoyed. Hi, Henry. Thank you for being here. William really loved this episode, thought it was better than the premiere. Personally, it was not for me. I don't know. I'm having trouble getting into this season. And I guess part of that reason is because I'm concerned, even though I do really like how it's a darker season, I'm concerned about who our villain is and what their motives are. And I'm worried that it's going to be a bad outcome and like a lame outcome. So I don't know, but I definitely have a lot of hope that there's more to this, because like watching the premiere, I kind of thought was not so great. And then when the Grundy scene came, I was actually really surprised and happy that they went there. But something I was reading today, I don't know who I saw it from, something on social media with someone involved with the cast, and they were saying that there are going to be other people killed off that are sort of important, possibly. So I think that's good. I mean, I feel like the people who died in this episode, no one really cared about them, but apparently some people that we know a little bit better are going to die. Genesis says you fancy everyone in the show, all of the dads especially. Yeah, definitely. And if you watch the original Scream movies, then you will remember FP from those movies, and he was great in that. And of course, Luke Perry, if you ever watched like 90210 back in the day, which I really never did, but I knew of him, I knew who he was. Amber says every episode in the first season was better than both of these. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the show when it started, and the only reason I started thinking it wasn't as good towards the end was because of how they handled Jason's death and the reveal of that, and I feel like they're kind of a little bit stuck right now, but there's only 2 episodes. It's only been 2 episodes in, so a lot can change, and I have an open mind about it, so I'm not going to say that I dislike this season because it just started. I'm just saying that it started a little bit slow. Ashley says it's probably going to feel slow since they have more episodes to play with. Right, they do have a lot of episodes, so they don't have to rush. And I forgot how many there are, but there's a lot. Marissa says, had they said if we should expect a death in every episode? If so, it feels like way too much. Now, that is another issue that I kind of addressed in my video last night. If they're going to do a death or something major along those lines, or someone getting attacked or shot every single, week at the very end, then that's going to be kind of dumb. So I almost think, like, they killed off Grundy in episode 1. I think that was really good. But what they wanted to do this week, having him kill those 2 kids or 2 students, maybe they shouldn't have put that at the very end, like put it somewhere. I don't know, because I'll let them pass on that, but I'm really hoping that they don't do that in a 3rd week in a row, because I'll just be like, are you kidding? Like, because we'll all know what to predict at the end. Who was in the car? It was Moose and Midge, and I don't really know who Midge is, but she was the one talking about the jingle jangle or whatever last night, basically trying to score some drugs, and they were in the car doing drugs or whatever. Obviously, it's people who we don't really care about, so whatever to that, but I guess I just kind of wanted to be like, ooh, we killed some people. But I don't understand. I don't know if that was for a reason, or if this person is just like terrorizing Riverdale and they're just going to kill easy targets, or what. Marissa says, who was the guy who died, the one who Archie met up with? You mean the one from the car last night, or what? Dadson says there's no way they kill somebody in every episode. It would get predictable and they'd run out of characters. I definitely think so. And Tobin has confessed to being the killer and doing all things bad, so now we don't have to watch anymore. Glenn's telling me I should watch Dynasty. I haven't started watching that. I don't know if that's about people being murdered as well. Actually, it would probably be good if it wasn't, because sometimes, you need a break from that. Who was the lady talking to Jughead? Refresh my memory on that, because I don't know. Last night I got a little bored and I was kind of tuned out a little bit, so I don't know. But yeah, maybe I should check out Dynasty. I have heard of a lot of people talk about that, so maybe I should. Skyla thinks they killed the 2 students in this episode just to establish a serial killer is on the loose. So, and that's kind of my thing. That's my question. Is this person just a serial killer who is just randomly picking people because they are students or they're, you know, they were once employed at the high school? I mean, because you heard them say that Miss Grundy was not even living in that town anymore. To me, that definitely was a targeted kill, absolutely, especially with the murder weapon. But this one felt very random. So, I mean, I would say like there's 2 killers, but this person looks the exact same since the finale of last year. Marissa says, speaking of the lodges, you cannot stand them. You are excited to have the dad, and nope, he even talks the same as he was when on All My Children years ago. That's funny. I really don't like them either. Man, I really don't like any of that storyline, and I think that's something maybe sort of from the comics. But Mark Consuelos, of course, is on the show. I don't really know much about him other than he's Kelly Ripa's husband, and I've definitely seen her before. So I don't know exactly where that's going. You know, some part of me thinks that they are the ones hiring these people, to kill, shoot people, whatever. So that's really boring to me if that's the case. I think the worst outcome for me in this season is that whoever's killing people was just paid by one of the adults we already know. And I mean, really, does anyone? I don't know. I just personally don't care. I dislike it. It's a similar situation happened in How to Get Away with Murder where there was a hitman involved killing off a major character, and it just kind of diminishes the killing of that person when you have some random doing it. And then the person who paid him was kind of a random too. So I don't remember much about Moose. But I will tell you that some people commented that from the comments from my video, commented on my video last night that I guess something similar happened in the comics and he lived. I'm hoping, I mean, I don't feel like I'm spoiling you. I feel like that would be a good thing. But anyway, maybe he's not really dead. I don't know. Tobin thinks that the killer is targeting people based on things they do, sort of like a morality complex. I think that's a really good statement as a direct result of the Jason Blossom murder. So yes, the only thing that we could point out about these 2 people that were shot last night is that they were doing drugs, and remember that Betty's mom took photos of them doing the drug deal at Pop's. So we can probably guess that this killer was at Pop's or in the parking lot or something and saw that go down or somehow heard of it. I really hope she didn't text him the pictures. I hope she's not involved. Marissa says it's almost like the lodges are paying to torture Archie in order to basically buy back Veronica, like punish her through the guy she loves. But wow, that is so demented if they wanted his dad dead. Like, how demented is that? But I could kind of see that from Hiram's point of view because I know that Veronica and what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Archie's dad were kind of hooking up or used to hook up or whatever. Amber wonders if, is it Cheryl's brother you're asking is still alive? I don't know. Yeah, as Tobin says, Archie's dad had a thing with Hermione. Right. That's kind of what I'm seeing that, and that's why I'm thinking it's a Hiram thing. But I mean, like, but then part of me is like, okay, so he wanted to shoot the drug dealer kids? Like, that's really low. Like, really? I mean, I totally get, him wanting to kill Grundy because that's someone he knew, whoever it is, knew that would really get to Archie, which it did. Hi, Charles. Thank you for being here. Glenn says that Madchen Amick is giving you life this year. Of course, I love Madchen. Between Shelley on Twin Peaks and Betty's mom, this woman has mad acting skills. I agree. I love her. Love, love, love her. And I love her even more because I watched every episode of Twin Peaks now. Because when I first started watching Riverdale, I hadn't seen Twin Peaks. So, hi, Ryan. Thank you so much for being here. Connie said, did I see the 2 promos for next week? I saw the one that aired after the episode. But anyway, you're saying where Hiram is telling Archie to watch his back, essentially. I feel like I saw that. Maybe. Amber says Hiram is the worst, but you have a feeling the mother is more involved. I think that's the way it is, and I think from hearing from those of you who've read the comics that Hiram is not really that bad of a guy. So, Amber, I think what you're saying is right. Hi, Hedgehog Lover. Thank you for being here. Glenn says Madchen needs to get back on American Horror Story. Was she in? I had no idea she was in Hotel. Yes, please get her on American Horror Story, please. That would make my life complete to have her. Well, let's get her in all the shows that we watch. Let's just come on. I think she's amazing. Lucy says you're worried because this season will be 22 episodes. That's what it is, 22 episodes. And it feels like they're trying to make as many plots as possible. And I think that's where things got a little bit bogged down last night because we had a lot of different storylines going. And then, of course, we ended it with this serial killer person. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Hi, Riley. Thank you for being here. Marissa says it made you feel like it's an Archie attack because of how they're trying to make Veronica conform to their ways or else. And also Hermione saying that it was good having him back after he bought Pops. Right. So all of that was like kind of a lie. She took the blame for that. And then in the restaurant, he was like, oh, thank you so much because she would never forgive me. So I don't know. Jordan says you think Veronica's dad is a red herring. I think so too. You don't think they will go in the obvious route again with Jason's dad? Yeah, I think so. Kevin is their friend. I'm trying to think. He's kind of part of the group. Like he's the sheriff's son, and he's like Archie's friend and Jughead and Betty and Veronica. Which Archie character has the serial killer potential? Well, I mean, I don't know much about the comics because I've never read the comics, but we know it has to be an adult because this person, we see his eyes, it's clearly an adult. So that's the thing that bothers me because it's like, okay, it makes it pretty easy to figure out. There's only a few male adults on the show, or it's someone totally random, or it's a random serpent, which would also be super, super lame. Mateo says you don't think they know how to pace the season because the season is so long. And I forgot, if somebody can remember, yeah, Kevin is gay. That's right. He used to date like or hook up with one of the serpent guys last year. So somebody was telling me like when the midway point was in this season and then when it was coming back. Does anybody know what that is? Because I forgot now. But again, it's not 22 episodes all in a row. It's kind of the structure if you watch How to Get Away with Murder, where it's a split season, which I think last year, I feel like we just did a whole season, but I do remember them taking a few breaks. So that's a good question that Ryan is asking about Polly. Did she ever have, well, she's supposed to have twins, right? We haven't seen her, and I don't remember her being mentioned this season, so that's really weird to me. I thought I really liked Polly, so I'm wondering, like, why is she not included? I guess she's still on the show, right? I have no idea. She was sent away, but she got pregnant. Well, she came back. I didn't think she was going anywhere, but where is she? Like, have they said where she was, or did they say she was leaving again? I mean, yeah, she was sent away essentially at first because she was sent to, like, the girls' home or women's home or whatever. And then she came back, and I thought things were, like, better. But then again, I haven't seen her at all, and I feel like no one's mentioned her this season, so that seems weird, right? Tobin like Crazy Betty with Cheryl. Yeah, I like that too, but I also saw something online that like Dark Betty was coming back, so maybe for all of those of you who liked it, she is. Marissa says you thought that the people who died last night were the people Archie had just met, but you were tired and bored. I didn't know much about either one, but I saw some people upset that Moose had died, and I didn't know their names, let's just be completely honest. I did remember this girl because she was asking about Jingle Jangle, she was asking about drugs, but the name Moose, like, sounds familiar to me, so I feel like maybe he was in last season. I don't really know, but that girl was new to me, right? I assume both of these people are comic book characters. That just sounds like some old school, like, 50s names, like Midge and Moose or whatever. But personally, I don't remember anything about this Moose guy, so I know some people were probably paying better attention than me. Emily thinks that Molly Ringwald's character could be the one behind it all because of all the people killed or related to Archie. Maybe she is jealous of Fred and Archie's life. So this is Archie's mom, and she was in the first episode, and that's an interesting way to look at it. And again, she could be paying someone, or this is a friend of hers who's doing these killings. So I never really thought about that, but we know really nothing about her. But then if you think that, well, why would she want Fred, like, dead? Because that's really disturbing. Like, really disturbing. You laugh at Archie's terrible acting, KJ Appa. Aw. That was Glenn that said that. Riley says, could the masked man be a Cooper, since they're all supposed to have green eyes? Well, I mean, for a little bit I thought it was Betty's dad, but then I was like, I don't know, I don't think that really looks like him. But yeah, I think that's a good point, though. So Archie said he was getting a gun for protection, but I definitely think that could cause him some trouble. You just never know what's going to go down with that. Like, he could end up shooting someone he perceives as a threat, because, like, last night didn't, who was it that had a mask on? Reggie or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff kind of goes down all the time on shows where the people think it's the villain and it's just like one of their friends. So now that he has a gun, I'm quite worried that somebody's going to get shot that he didn't mean to shoot. That was just basically an innocent person. Toba would much rather Archie becoming a drug addict. Tommy says you feel like it's obviously the serpent who keeps helping Jughead. Yes, I've seen a lot of comments about that. And I want to be like, ignoring it because it's like, I mean, not ignoring you guys, but ignoring that it could be him because that's so obvious that it's like really annoying. So I hope it's not, but I never bring it up because I'm like, well, surely it's not him, right? I don't know. Corey says your issue with this season is none of the characters we know are the killer and there's no mystery. That's it, exactly. And what I feel like they will probably do, unless it's the sheriff, I feel like they will probably have this person that we keep seeing as the masked man is someone we really don't know, and the tie-in to everything is that someone has paid or hired, well, that's the same thing. Either they're doing favors for someone or they're being paid, to kill these people, which to me, a hitman is never as genuine and as exciting and intriguing as an actual person who we know. So that's what's kind of for me from having a channel where I theorize about always like who's the killer. It's hard for me with this season because how many people can we suspect as this guy? I mean, when we straight up see his eyes, Well, Betty's brother was in the first episode. He was the guy that kissed Grundy, so he's not very old. He doesn't look very old, but I mean, it could be a friend of his or something. Corey says the paid or hired part just is so not exciting. That's what kills it for me. Now, again, I could be wrong. It could not be that, but that feels like that's the way it's going to go. Emily says, what if FP hired someone from jail to shoot Fred because Fred fired FP from his company? I really hope not. That would be really upsetting to me. That would just cause major drama, especially if that came out at the end of the season between the two of them. So I don't know. Glenn finds it funny how Cheryl is supposed to be the mean girl in this show. Her comments are so child's play compared to Chanel Oberlin. And that's a Scream Queens reference. If you guys haven't seen that show, absolutely. Connie says you would only feel satisfied if it's Betty's dad or the sheriff. Agree. 100%. But you have a feeling it's not since there's not many adult characters. And that's the problem. And that's why I've said all along when I watch shows like Pretty Little Liars, Scream, which handled things, I mean, Scream did a wonderful job. Scream on MTV did a great job of making the villains, like, I'm pretty sure like making the villains for the most part teens and people that we could guess. But we have this issue on this show, and we had, maybe we didn't have it on Pretty Little Liars. It was just stupid. Anyway, but we have an issue on this show with adults being the criminals and the villains in a teen-centric show. And that is very annoying to me. They did it once last season. I thought that was lame, but I let it go. Now it looks like we're doing it again. So, like, what kind of show is this? I mean, why do we need to have adults be the villains every single time? Is that the formula we're going to follow for the rest of the time the show is on? We can't have a teen person doing this. I don't understand. Why would we have to have, like, and the adult choices are bad, so we have to pick from, like, people that just aren't even that shady. Marissa says if they don't leave the reveal until the end of the season, it being a servant would be cool. Could also be a rival gang, and this is all a message to Jughead. Lucy says the writing is awful, but you love the characters. Shadowhunter says they will probably reveal the killer by the end, or we might find out and have a new killer. I don't know. I don't know either. Yes, Keke Palmer will be in Scream Season 3, which I think is supposed to air, like, I think it's February of next year. So I'll be watching that, and I'll let you know, what I think about it, because I really love the first two seasons, but I know this season will be completely different for Scream. Scream was great. It was really good that's one of my favorite shows, and another reason to make me feel sad again that everything has changed. I need a moment of silence for Scream MTV because I loved that show. I thought that was so well done. Marissa says in PLL, though, we all sort of complained that it would suck and not make sense if it was someone the girl's age. Well, that was the other issue with that, because there were so many issues with that show, but the problem was the crimes were so advanced. But I don't think it's too ridiculous to think that a teenager could be killing people, as long as they're not, like, in a lair, like in Pretty Little Liars, and they have, all this, where they have to be spending all kinds of money to have technological spy equipment and all that stuff. I mean, if you want to kill someone, you don't have to be a millionaire, I don't know why they can't, if you look at Scream, as an example, if you guys have watched that, the people who were killers in that show were not filthy rich. They didn't have layers. They didn't have, you know, high-tech masks and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't require all that stuff. So that's why I don't understand this show and then them insisting on adults being the villains every single time, because I think that they lose out on the audience by having that. But I mean, again, they may have something better in mind to figure it out about who this person is. Maybe their connection is very strong. I don't know. Who do I want to make it out alive this season? Well, I don't think that they will kill off Archie, Veronica, Cheryl. I really don't. I don't see those people dying. I don't see Jughead dying. There's the UPS man again, so my dog's going crazy. Hi, Deja. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, I don't think that they will bother the central cast. I don't see them dying. Corey says, you also think the 22 episodes is slowing the show down, filled with relationship updates, which honestly, I feel like I was kind of into the relationship stuff last season because we were trying to figure out, like, we knew Betty really liked Archie, but then Veronica was like the new girl and there was like the fight with that. But now everyone's like settled into their relationship. So I kind of feel like, well, there's really no drama there either. There probably will be, but I don't know. Emily says, do I think the Blossoms are relevant in the mystery this season? Well, the whole situation with Cheryl and her mom is just demented. So I think could be, but I also think Cheryl is probably never going to be a villain because she seems like a villain on the outside and they kind of played around with that last year. And I think she's probably, oh, thank you, Tobin. I think she's probably I want to say she's like good at heart. I'm not really sure if that's true, but I don't think she's a killer. We'll just say it that way. Marissa says, do I think Cheryl's mom ran back into the fire to save money and they will soon be broke? I kind of think that, yes. Yeah, I kind of do. Jasmine says, you really think the masked man is the old guy from the Serpents the Jughead has been asking for help? Yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying. When he walked into Pops, you saw his eyes, and wow, it really looked like him. So if that's the case, what does that do for you? I mean, how did that make you guys feel? Because it makes me feel like, what? Like, I don't even like this whole Serpents storyline. And then to have one of them, those random guys, okay, like, yeah. Corey says, any scenes Cheryl is in are the only good scenes. I like Cheryl, and I think I like her personality and, like, her sassiness. And if you guys didn't know, Madeline, who plays Cheryl, has her own YouTube channel, and I just saw I haven't had really much of a time to watch videos lately on YouTube, but she uploaded some video about Riverdale and like why her boyfriend doesn't watch or something, and it looks funny because she does a lot of videos with him, and I think he films for her, and I don't think he's famous. I could be wrong, but you guys may want to subscribe to her because I think it's always cool, like kind of like Shay Mitchell. Shay Mitchell's been slacking on the uploads lately, I feel like. She used to upload a lot more, but when you watch someone on a show and then they have a YouTube channel that's not related to the show, like it's just about their life and stuff. So I really always loved Shay's channel as well. Connie thinks that Cheryl knows the right thing to do. Even if she doesn't want to do it, she will with persuasion. I think that's a great way to put it. Absolutely. Ryan says you're not really a fan of Jughead. You don't hate him, just not a big fan. I mean, I think he's okay, and I like Betty, so I kind of like the fact of, I like their little relationship. But, no, I'm not trying to shade Shay, but, like, I just remember she has phenomenal videos that are obviously, like, professionally done. But I remember she used to upload a lot, but she's probably, like, super busy making a lot of money doing other things that aren't on YouTube. But I think she's had a couple videos lately, but for a while she just had so many, and I was like, oh, I was, like, so happy because they're so good. Marissa says the locker room scene with Cheryl and Betty was great on Cheryl's part. You feel like Betty is trying too hard. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Tommy says you're glad Kevin is finally getting an episode around him next week because he's an underrated character. I like Kevin, and I know some people actually thought he was the killer last year, and I don't think he's the killer, but this year anyway. Tobin, your autocorrect changed Jughead to Bughead, which is very funny. Corey says they went crazy overboard with the visions, dream scenes, have I noticed? Yeah, so much so that it's making me have dreams, which I talked about in my last video if you haven't seen it. Emily doesn't understand how all of the murders are related. That's what I'm having trouble with. I totally get Miss Grundy, and I guess I can get the Fred Andrews because it seems like someone was like wanting to really mess with Archie, but then the two random kids in the car, I don't know. I'm not sure why they care, why that's connected. And then the only thing I can think about why they were killed was because they were doing drugs and someone's against that. But then how does that relate to Archie? I don't know. Connie says, you think the biggest mistake by a character this season 100% is Veronica being willing to trust her parents. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Probably absolutely 100% agree. Yes. Right, agree, Marissa. Locker Betty seemed very fake, and Dark Betty seemed to have psychosis. That's funny. So anyway, you know, I want it to get better. I hope that it will, and I haven't, like, made up my mind that it's not. I just have some, you know, issues with it right now, and I see kind of where it's going, and maybe it won't go that way, but it seems to be going down a path where the killer reveal is not going to be that good. Tommy said they don't actually show that the person who killed the kids was the masked man. If you can go back, they just show a figure and a gun. Well, I mean, that would even be lamer if they said it was just like if Archie was the one that ran up and killed him, because like we saw him like walk from the back of the car, walk around. I mean, I feel like it was him. Bughead is Betty. Oh, so you're trying to say Betty and Jughead? Okay, never mind. I don't know, because I know my iPhone changes everything to ridiculous things. And a lot of times it'll do that when I'm replying to you guys in the comments. And it just makes me look like I have no idea what I'm saying. But it's actually Siri. It's not me. So, Corey says if they don't add like 10 middle-aged men characters soon, there's only 3 people to choose from, right? Or we can just say it's one of the millions of the serpents, or it's someone we've never seen before, which is the worst. Who would I want to be revealed as the killer? Someone we know. So at this point, since there's not very many men we know, I would have to say that it would either be Veronica's dad, which I don't see happening, Betty's dad, or more likely, the sheriff. So I'm okay with all of those because we know those people, they're established people, and I want to know like why they're doing it. And at least it would be kind of like a shocking reveal, like, oh my God, like if they took off the mask or if someone took their mask off, we'd be like, I know that person, rather than someone taking off the mask of someone we've never seen before or like a random serpent and you're like, huh, okay, like where's the shock? Like where is it? I know a lot of people want Betty to be crazy, and there was a lot of talk about that last season, and it didn't ever really happen, but yeah. So we have Sabrina. I guess, is she getting her own show, the Sabrina character, or is this, or is she coming on to, I thought she was coming on to Riverdale, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Penny Peabody, I think, is the new character that's going to be introduced, right? I think I also saw that somewhere online. I was looking for the photos, like still photos for my thumbnail, and I just ended up finding so many articles, and sometimes I just get, like, sucked into them. Jasmine thinks it might be a serpent. We know him, and they've also been putting him on camera more. That serpent guy that talks to Jughead. Yeah. Connie says it could maybe be Sheriff, since Kevin is getting a big appearance next week and might be more centered around as a whole. That could be an underlying clue. Okay, so Sabrina's getting her own show, and it's going to be dark and scary. Is that something that you guys are going to watch? I don't know when that comes out. I guess I'll probably try it out since it's related to Riverdale, but I don't know. And I don't really know Penny Peabody much. Do you guys know much about her? Again, I've never read these comics. I definitely have heard of Sabrina, though, 100%, because, well, I used to watch the Sabrina, I guess it's the same person, the Sabrina show that was on TV, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? Is it the same thing? Do I think they're going to go forward with the sci-fi stuff with Jason being alive? Oh, God. I hope not. I hope not. Sabrina's going to be introduced in the second half of season 2 that leads into her spinoff, and I don't have a great feeling about spinoffs. I think I talked to you guys about that with the announcement of The Perfectionist being the PLL spinoff. Usually spinoffs are not good, but you know, this one could be. I don't know. Melissa Joan Hart better be cast as one of the aunts. Yeah, or she at least should make some kind of cameo or something. That needs to happen. You heard Dove Cameron will be Sabrina. I don't know. I think Sabrina is a supernatural show, but I don't want Riverdale to be one. I agree. But Sabrina, I think, has to be, so I don't know. I mean, that show was good back in the day because it was like a comedy. But this one's probably going to be like super dark and not like that. I never watched Angel. I guess that was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff. So the thing is, there are some good spinoffs. Not all of them suck. But The Perfectionist, I feel like, will suck. I'm sorry. But Sabrina, I don't know. You know, it could be good. I really have no preconceived notions about that. I have no, like, bad thoughts about it. I don't know. you know, but Melissa Joan Hart is so awful. She is. She's really mean. I have a story about her. I still haven't shared it because I feel bad, like, doing a video about rude celebrities, but I have a rude celebrities video that I need to do. And she's just not nice. And it made me very sad because I thought she was the greatest and I was so excited to meet her. And I was like, no, she seems so nice. I don't know. It was such a shock. But yeah, I met her a few years ago and she just was not a nice person. She is not bubbly, happy, cheerful. She's just not happy. She's not nice. I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll tell you the story. When I first, well, actually, when I was 17, I started working in television news. I'll tell you the Melissa Joan Hart story. I'll save the rest for later. But I started working in television news, and they actually, on the weekends, let me be a reporter and stuff, which was insane. But I have a degree in communications after that. But, oh, you've heard stories okay, Tobin's heard stories. I don't know. I've always felt bad about this because I thought over the years of like, and this was a few years ago, and I was like, you know, maybe she's just was having like a terrible day or something. But you've heard other stories. And you know what? I actually bought her autobiography on whatever, iTunes books or whatever. And I listened to the whole thing. And that was recently, like a year ago. And she kind of sounded like kind of how I met her. Like, she kind of has an attitude issue. So I listened to that whole thing, which I thought was interesting. And she actually talked about the time that I met her. Not talking about me, but she was talking about an event that happened the place that I met her. So where I met her, I live in Kentucky in the United States, and there's a big event called the Kentucky Derby every year. You may have heard of it. A big, huge horse race. Like the most famous horse race in the world, probably. And when I was working at the TV station, I was working on the weekends, and this is a weekend event, and they sent me there. A lot of celebrities come to this event, and this is where I've met a lot of the celebrities, and that's where some of the rude celebrity stories come from that you'll hear one day. But I was supposed to go there and interview celebrities and everything. And the year that I was there, I saw Melissa Joan Hart, and I was, like, really excited. Like, you're kind of in a room. They're all in the room, like, eating dinner and, like, they're up, like, in a building, and they're, like, looking out, watching the race and whatever. And so I saw her, and I asked, like, her people if I could do an interview with her, and they were like, sure. And so, like, you know, I was there from, like, a local TV station, but there were... yeah, everyone's listening to this. There were big media outlets there, like Entertainment Tonight was there and E! News and all those people. So, like, right when I went up to talk to her, she was like, who are you from? And I told her, like, the name of the station. She was like, oh. So it was like, I knew it was like on a bad start. Like, I knew she didn't want to do the interview, but like whoever she was with, like her publicist or whatever, said, you know, that she could do it. So I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I you know, loved your show, and I always loved you when I was younger and everything. She was like, cool. And I was like, okay, like, she totally didn't want to talk to me, and I was just asking her questions, like, I was like, well, are you excited to be here for the, you know, the race and everything? And she was like, yeah. You know, because actually Jerry O'Connell was also there. And I'd interviewed him before, and he's like the coolest person. I interviewed him before her, and he was like so nice and friendly and happy. And obviously I am not with E! News. I'm not famous. You know, but at the same time, like, why you gotta be so rude? Like, I just wanted to ask her a couple questions. It's a very easy interview. All you have to say is, yeah, I'm so excited to be here for the race, and this is like my first time in Kentucky, or whatever, kind of the stuff that, you know, Jerry O'Connell was saying. And this is going to tie into her book here in a little bit, and I'll tell you. So anyway, so like every response I gave, you know, she gave me was like a one-syllable response. And like when you work in TV news, you need like at least a sentence out of someone. I can't use her saying yeah and it's cool and whatever in my story, because she's not saying anything, and she just had like this sour look on her face. And you know, I should have said hi to your mom because she loved my show. Oh yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I was just like, okay. I mean, it was just like so offensive to me because I told her like I had always really liked her, and I just don't know, like, I'm telling her like I'm her fan, but I'm also trying to be professional, and she was just so rude. And it was just like a very short interview because she wouldn't say anything, and it was just more, it wasn't like she was rude to me or she said something specifically rude to me, but her whole vibe was bad, and like her energy was bad, and she was just not cool and not nice. And I don't know if other, you know, Tobin said you've heard other stories, and so I've thought about it, like I said, and I'm like, you know, maybe something had happened to her that day, or maybe she was feeling sick. I don't know, but I just don't understand. But anyway, like, so I was listening to her audiobook, her book, her autobiography or whatever. I freaked out because she actually brought up that derby that I was at, the Kentucky Derby, and she was talking about it, and I was like, oh, wow, I got to turn this up. Like, what is happening here? And she was talking about how Jerry O'Connell was there, and I was like, oh, my God, yes, because I interviewed him. Yes, what are we doing here? What did we say? Oh, my God, where is this going? And she said that he was, like, flirting with her, and he is, like, a really big flirt. No lie, that's completely true. And he was trying to hook up with her and, like, all this stuff. She was kind of, like, shading him, and she was like, oh, I turned him down. I don't know, but she gave, like, this big story about Jerry O'Connell. And I thought it was funny just because I was literally there at the same event, talked to both people, and I had no idea those two had talked, but it was just so funny. I don't know, she was kind of like putting him down. I'm not sure. But I was like, whatever. I was thinking like, oh my God, whatever. He is so much cooler than you. And I don't even know if he was flirting with you. She's probably just like has an overinflated ego. So whatever to that. But she's like married and she has kids and all that good stuff now. But maybe she's grown up more since then. I don't know. Maybe she's a nicer person. But that is my story about her. Yes. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Tobin says, did I see the tweet she put about the hurricane? I did because I watched Wendy Williams because I love her. I also met her and she was nice. But yeah. So when there was, I think it was the, I don't know if it was the Puerto Rico. No, I think it was like the St. Martin, the storms that affected like St. Martin or St. John's or something. And she was like really angry and she was like, oh my God, the hurricane destroyed my family vacation. So everyone got really offended by that and like roasted her over it because hello, like people died, they lost their homes, their businesses and everything. And this rich woman is worried about a vacation, which come on, she can reschedule. I'm sorry. It just was like, to me, that is exactly how I found her to be, like someone that would complain about a vacation loss when people lost their lives. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, again, yeah. How you doing? Yeah. So, but I don't know. That's just my story. I do feel kind of bad. And I haven't done the Rude Celebrities video just because I feel bad talking about other people. Because maybe what I would just say before I did the video is this. That was my impression of them. And this is the way they acted around me the day that I met them. And my disclaimer would just be, maybe, you know, they were having an off day or whatever. But at the same time, I think as a celebrity and when you're at an event where you know, I'm never going to run up on someone and try to interview them or do something like that at, you know, when they're on their off, you know, they're not working or whatever. But when they come to an event where they know people are going to be interviewing them and they know the, you know, press is going to be there, when you have an attitude and when you're rude, that's going to get you that reputation because it's like, well, that's kind of why, you know, that's part of their job and that's why they're famous and have a following. So if you can't be cordial in those situations, then you're going to look like a jerk, you know? Change the title to Melissa Joan Hart Exposed. Yeah, I know, but actually this has nothing to do with Riverdale like at all unless she ends up showing up on the Sabrina show. I don't know. But anyway, Wendy was cool. I actually got to be on the show and that video is somewhere here on YouTube because a lot of people have seen it. Gosh, I gotta think. It was Tito Jackson episode from last year. If you find that, I don't know how many different parts it's in. I was on near the end of the show. I played like a celebrity game with her and I just met her for just a little bit, but she was cool. She's like very skinny in person, very tall. And I love Wendy. Like I literally watch her every day. So getting to talk to her and whatever was just insane to me. Like I know she's not like the most famous person in the world, but like for me to meet her, since I watch her every single day, it was like a dream come true. Oh my gosh. So if she had been rude, I would have been so freaking sad. I would have cried because I always thought she was awesome and funny. That's funny, Marissa. So, anyway, that is my story. I still get comments on my videos today that someone's like, hey, I just saw you on Wendy. And I'm like, that must be like a serious rerun. I mean, it was like last June. So I don't know if they're seeing that on YouTube. I know people have seen it on YouTube. It's out there somewhere. Or if they are actually seeing it on TV. But I guess it airs like all over the world. But I was really recognized on that, which is weird because also in the Hot Topic segment, I was in the audience and the camera showed me like a ton for some reason. So I don't know, but I know I need to do the rude vid. I need to do the rude celebs vid. I do. You just like, I know a lot of people just like this chit chat. We should just do that, just like a random chat. I need to do more of those. So that's my Melissa Joan Hart story. And when I do the Rude Celebs video, I'll just go ahead and tell that story again because I think people need to know. And she'll never see it, so what the heck? And if she does, you could have been nicer. There's no need for that. So, but anyway, I think that's a good point to stop. I hope you enjoyed this because I'm way off topic and it's probably super annoying to anyone who clicked on this later and, you know, clicked on this and they were like, what the heck? This is not about Riverdale. Oh yeah, Trisha Paytas. Oh my God. I haven't actually watched her a lot lately because some of her stuff gets depressing. I actually like Trisha. But good gracious, like some of her depressing videos, like, I don't know, she did like a 7-Eleven eating show recently and it was so sad. Like it made me sad. And I'm not, that's like not shade at all. It bothered me. Because she seemed very sad. Sometimes her videos are sad. And she's had like sad videos a lot lately. I just miss the insane ones. No, not the crying on the floor ones. I don't know. Does anyone else watch that? Yes, I know she was on Big Brother UK. I actually started watching some of that and I felt depressed too. Because I just started watching it on, only because of her on YouTube. And I was like, oh my God, this is depressing. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her in a way. I know she has all the money in the freaking world, but she makes me sad sometimes, you know? Do you guys watch her? What is so random, and I should not be talking about another YouTuber in this, but you know, what is so random is that somebody, I won't mention their name, but somebody who comments a lot on all my videos who's very nice. I was like deep into the internet one night with Trisha Paytas videos, and I like to read the comments, but people are so mean, and I was like deep into the comments of one of these really sad videos, the crying on the floor videos, and there was the person from my videos and I was like, oh my God, hi, I know you. And they were like, yeah, hey, what's up? And it was so funny. I was like, cool. I mean, she's so popular, right? I mean, everyone watches her, but lately, like I said, I haven't watched her that much because, the videos were just dark. Okay, one more thing and I'll let you go. I really like Sean and all that drama made me sad too. I loved when he was around and they were together, but there's so much drama surrounding that. I'm sure everyone has stopped watching this video now because if you don't watch her, you would have no clue what I'm talking about. But I really like them together and I felt really bad when all of that went down and that was such a depressing time. I don't know. To me, she's more exciting than a lot of shows. That's why I watch YouTube. I feel like a lot of these YouTube people are so much more exciting. Corey, no, it wasn't you. I'm not mad at the person. Yeah, apparently Sean was gay, but didn't tell her he was gay, but then someone got on Snapchat him with another guy. I don't know. I have seen the Jesus song. Yes. Thank you, Gokai. Yes. She trolls everyone. A lot of the stuff she does is just for views. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm sorry. I really should not devote my videos to other YouTubers. And I don't mean it disrespectfully. Like, I like watching her. I've really not watched a lot. I've seen Shane on other people's videos, but I don't know him like I know Trisha. Like, I've seen him on her videos and, like, other people that I watch, but I don't really know him enough to talk about him, really. But I hope you guys are having a great day. This is actually fun. Very fun. But anyway, tonight I have How to Get Away with Murder, so that video will be up tonight, and then tomorrow, How to Get Away with Murder live chat at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hope you're having a great day. This is super fun, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.